Welcome back to day 2 of the 2024 Child Welfare Virtual Expo. My name is Wywana Montgomery. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm one of your co-hosts for today and the lived experience family consultant for the Capacity Building Center for States. I hope you've had some time to reflect and digest all that you heard yesterday and that your wheels are turning to find at least one way to make the workforce in your agency more resilient. I also hope you are thinking of ways to support existing leadership and foster a safe space for emerging tribal leaders to learn and grow.
Thanks so much, Wywana, and good morning, everyone. My name is Brina Williams, and my pronouns are they, them, and I'm a young adult consultant for the Capacity Building Center for States. Day 2 of the 2024 Child Welfare Virtual Expo is here. Yesterday, we heard a riveting recount from State Department and division leaders from South Carolina Social Services about how they created a culture grounded in safety, trust, and alignment among professionals at all levels within their agency. I hope you all left yesterday with some new strategies and practices to take back to your agencies that'll help you create a culture within the child welfare workforce that is equipped for success. But the fun doesn't stop there. Today we have an exciting variety of material, including 2 pre-recorded sessions, Shattering Ceilings, The Bold Ascent of 2 Black Women into Leadership, and Reframe, Rename, Reclaim, a participatory approach for recruiting child welfare workers, as well as 4 live sessions for you to choose from. I highly encourage you all to use today as a space for self-exploration regarding what leading from where you are means to you.
Today's 2 sessions are simultaneous. We are going to keep the conference platform up for a full calendar year so you can come back and watch the other session that you don't attend today. One option is the Shattering Ceilings, the bold ascent of 2 Black women into leadership, and we will hear from 2 outstanding leaders. Dr. Sharon Harrison, an evaluation and research and implementation scientist who is president and CEO of Public Research and Evaluation Services. Dr. Harrison will be joined in this session by Ms. Lahia Cushman, Executive Director of the North American Council on Adoptable Children, or NACAC. Both of these impactful leaders will share their personal leadership journeys and walk us through how to use statistical data to uncover the disparities and inequities experienced by Black women in the workplace. Along the way, they will share some best practices you can take away and start using in your work.
In this morning's other session, Reframe, Rename, Reclaim, a participatory approach for recruiting child welfare workers, we will hear from the Dean of the University of Kentucky, Justin J. Miller. Dean Miller will help us to explore the processes and outcomes associated with CW Prep, or Child Welfare Preparation, Recruitment, Education, and Partnership, which is an innovative child welfare workforce recruitment, education, and retention program. Dean Miller was appointed Dean and Dorothy A. Miller Research Professor in Social Work Education at the University of Kentucky in July 2019. At the time of his appointment, Dean Miller was the youngest dean in the country. He earned his bachelor's degree from Western Kentucky University, Master of Social Work from Spalding University, and PhD from the University of Louisville. Dean Miller is dedicated to a host of social issues and community outreach, a passion that he brings to his work as an educator and scholar. His research and academic interests focus on child welfare and youth involvement in juvenile justice systems. His work has shaped practice with foster youth and has informed a myriad of policies and practices to participatory engagement with youth and families. In addition to this, Dean Miller is actively leading research related to self-care and wellness. In 2017, he founded the Self-Care Lab, which is the first known lab specifically dedicated to empirically investigating self-care among helping professionals. Through his work, Dean Miller demonstrates his commitment to addressing potentially toxic employment conditions. And now we will hear from the Children's Bureau to talk more about the conference theme, Leading from Where You Are.
Welcome to the second day of the Child Welfare Virtual Expo. We hope that you had a great time yesterday and that we inspired new thinking, and that we've given you a little bit of chance to sleep on some things overnight. We hope today is just as meaningful. I think that one of the things that I've been wanting to share with the group is just our huge thanks to many of the federal civil servants that have worked very diligently to plan this event, along with our partners at the Capacity Building Center for States. So huge thanks to everyone that put their time and effort, problem solving. We hope that for you that have joined, that it's been meaningful. We want to hear back from you if it has, and what else you need from us. We thought we'd also share, Arlene, I'm curious because you've led the group that's been planning this meeting. Why did you pick this particular theme for this year?
I think for me, it was about, when we were having the conversations early on about, is it this topic, this challenge, what, we want to be relevant, right? We want to be relevant to what the workforce and child welfare professionals are experiencing. It always comes down to how we are leading, and we're trying to create system change. And that means everybody needs to lead wherever they are, whatever position they hold, and start rowing right in the same direction. And so it came down to leadership for us. And that resonated for us as a team because we've been thinking a lot about leadership and how we're leading the work that we lead.
Yeah, I feel like picking this theme has really focused our conversations within the capacity building division about what are the kinds of things that we want to do. We thought as part of opening the second day that it might be fun and informative to just talk a little bit about what leadership means to us at the federal level. So Arlene, can I just ask you that question before we turn it over to other members of our team of what does leadership mean to you? And my guess is it's changed a little bit from you as a leader, a supervisor, running a program for the Minority Leadership Development Program at Adopt US Kids, and now at the federal level.
It has. I mean, I think when you have the responsibility of leading others from a positional point of view, of course, that looks different. But I think the theme and sort of the trait that I've always come back to is, to me, leadership is about courage. It's about the courage to be vulnerable, the courage to have discernment and the awareness to know when I need to be quiet and listen, or when I need to speak my truth. It's all about courage for me. Like, there's so much adversity in the work that we do, and it requires us to dig deep into that grit of like showing up every day, even when we're really tired and we're really struggling.
Yeah. It makes me think, I do still really love Brene Brown, and she has also focused her research and kind of bridging research and practice. And one of the quotes that I love is that she believes that a leader is anyone who takes responsibility for finding potential in people or processes, and then who has the courage to develop that potential. And that resonated with me. I mean, I think there's a parallel process of when I was a caseworker, if I was doing my best work with families, I was looking for their potential. I was trying to understand how processes might be getting in the way of them reaching it, and then the courage to action. And now, though I feel removed from that day-to-day work, which I miss at times, I still feel like my role as a leader at the Children's Bureau is to look for potential in people and processes, and then have the courage to try to develop it, my part of that, my small part of that. So it is interesting how, for me, my definition of leadership has changed as my career has changed a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that I love and appreciate about you and your leadership is that you can discern the times when you have the responsibility of your position to function and make decisions, but you know exactly when you need to neutralize the power that comes with your position so that the rest of us can have the space and create that space for us to step into our power. And I think that's another parallel with families
Mhm.
of neutralizing the power imbalances that exist.
Yeah. I feel like one of the things that we've talked about a lot in our division and as a team is the importance of, like, in order to neutralize power, you have to be curious about someone else's experience and then believe that their experience is true. And I think I think us talking a lot about that and seeing situations where you as a woman of color walk into a room where there's no other people of color and express how that impacts you. And for the rest of the team to be like, wow, slow down, think about what that is, believe what that feels like. And that to me has been like a springboard to action. Like, what do we need? What do we need to change? How do we really be transformative as a team, not just as individuals?
Yeah. And I think that's how I'm extremely grateful to have that in you as a leader, but also my colleagues,
Yeah.
They believe me every time. I don't have to tell my story over and over again. And they're there to provide the support, not jump to action and use their action bias, right? Like, they are just there for whatever I need. And it's just a beautiful thing to have within each other. And I think that's the strength that our team has in the way that we lead with one another.
Yeah. The other thing too, I feel like we have talked about it in the service of the things that we want to get done together.
Mhm.
And that has also been powerful.
Yeah.
That yes, it's about our relationships with one another, but it's also in service of what needs to be disrupted, what needs to be transformed, what do we need to measure differently, who do we need to support, and that's been inspiring to me as well. I am excited for the rest of the people that are participating in the virtual expo to hear from some of our team members as we've been thinking about what this means to us. And so we'll turn it over to other members of the Capacity Building Division. And again, huge thanks to the Capacity Building Center for States for all that they have done in making this event possible.
To me, leadership looks like leaning in and loving each other really well, so that you're able to identify and champion each other's natural excellence. It allows each member of the team to show up with your own gifts, which cultivates a dynamic environment where together the team may move forward in mighty ways to accomplish big goals. This space allows the team to safely show up as their own authentic selves through the good, the bad, and the in-between. And it allows the team to continue to build so that there's constant growth. It's like you are consistently shedding layers and reemerging as the best version of yourself because of each other.
For me, leadership is the way that you interact with others. It's the way you support each other. It's the way that we listen and teach. It's the way that we inspire others to be better. I don't think that leadership is defined by your role. I feel like leadership is found in the people who prefer to be behind the scenes, kind of managing, keeping things moving, keeping things organized. There's leadership in that. Leadership is in the people who are really fantastic at being out front, inspiring with their words, with their vision, with their with the stating the potential for what things can be.
I lead from where I am by staying true to my values, staying true to my beliefs, as that allows me then to show up as my authentic self. By showing up as my authentic self, it is important as that then is the lens and the perspective in which I view the work, that then also then allows me to value the people, not only who I'm working for, but also who I'm working with, ensuring that same commonality and that same ground that we want to have the best outcomes for our children and families in which we are serving.
Hi again. Brina Williams here. My pronouns they, them, a young adult consultant for the Capacity Building Center for States. Before we send you off to today's sessions, we want to remind you to explore the conference features, including the resource gallery, exhibit hall, networking lounge, one-on-one virtual chat, and the leadership tool. Between sessions today, take some time to explore the CWVE conference platform. Network with partnering organizations and federal technical assistance providers in the exhibit hall, explore resources related to specific leadership roles or leadership topics in the virtual gallery, connect with peers from across the nation in the networking lounge, and invite peers to engage in a one-on-one virtual chat. Be sure to download the SWEVE 2024 Leadership Tool in the Resource Center and use it to take notes and reflect on your leadership strengths, challenges, and opportunities during your time today.
And remember that our expo theme is leading from where you are. Just by showing up today, each one of you is leading from where you are, whether that be your agency office space, your living room, or your favorite local coffee shop. No matter what your role is in child welfare, your community, or your home, you are a leader in one way or another. Keep up the great work.